speech, it was the Joe Biden we have come to expect in situations like this, with his unique perspective on loss, given all the personal loss he has suffered, and somewhat of an elegy to both the victims and the survivors, telling them, for example, in time, but only in time, will the memory of your loved one bring a smile to your face before it brings a tear to your eye. And then he turned to the dark side of all of this and gave us some of the most important stuff, and that was especially about the racist lies that individuals tell that lead to this form of violence. Listen.
I call on all Americans to reject the lie, and I condemn those who spread the lie for power, political gain, and for profit. White supremacy is a poison. It's a poison running through it really is. Running through our body politic. And it's been allowed to fester and grow right in front of our eyes. No more. I mean, no more. We need to say as clearly and forcefully as we can that the ideology of white supremacy has no place in America. None. And look, failure for us to not say that, failure in saying that, is going to be complicity. Silence is complicity.
But as expected, the president did not call out any individuals by name for amplifying racist lies. The White House says today was a day for consoling the people of Buffalo.
I want to bring in Rashawn Ray, senior fellow at the Brookings Institution and professor of sociology at the University of Maryland, College Park. Also with us, CNN chief political analyst Gloria Borger, and Daryl Johnson, former senior domestic terrorism analyst at the Department of Homeland Security. Thank you all for being part of this important discussion. Rashawn, first, I just want to get your thoughts on the president's visit today and his message today. We had heard from activists and family members prior to that speech, and they wanted President Biden to do more than just be empathetic. They wanted him to call out this crime for what it is. It's about hate, it's about race, it's about right-wing ideology. Did he meet this moment?
Well, you know, I think one of the things that Biden has been trying to do, and as you noted, this is one of the reasons why he ran. People want to get past sound bites. They actually want to see policy change to hold people accountable. As you noted, make no mistake, this was about white supremacy ideology. This was about individuals going into a black neighborhood. Black neighborhoods have always been targeted by hate, and went into this neighborhood and killed 10 people. People want to see Biden actually pass the policies that put him in office. A lot of people came out in Georgia, Michigan, across the country to put him in office. Not only have we not seen advances as it relates to hate crimes, but voting, policing, reparations are not even on the table. People want to see more, and they haven't gotten that.
So, Gloria, politically, do you think this horrific attack and the words we heard from the president today change anything?
Not immediately. I don't think it does. You know, the Democratic leaders of the Senate have been working with some Republicans to try and close loopholes, background checks. Joe Biden himself was the person, you'll recall, who passed the assault weapons ban, which has expired. And I think right now, as you're heading into this election, it isn't going to change anything politically, except that perhaps more Democrats will start talking about this and will start openly saying replacement theory is racist. And this, I think, is what Biden was saying today. He was saying, look, silence is complicity. Right. And so if more and more people get put on the record about this, get asked questions about this, what do you believe in replacement theory? What do you think of it? Do you believe that it's racist? Do you believe that people are coming across the border to replace white people and take over the country, et cetera, et cetera? I mean, let's have a debate on what people really believe about replacement theory. Maybe that will happen. Maybe that will happen. But honestly, I have to say, after years of covering efforts to get some kind of gun control in this country, I would have to say that I'm not optimistic. You get a little piece of this and a little piece of that.
But maybe it's not just about gun control. I mean,
That's
maybe
right.
it's bigger picture. I mean, he's talking about white supremacy, about domestic terrorism. And so, Daryl, President Biden, he used that word terrorism today. His Secretary of Homeland Security, however, says, that's a legal term. Laws are a little bit, I guess, in a gray area right now when it comes to domestic terrorism and how you go about prosecuting that. So he wouldn't call it that. I wonder, is it important to use that language, especially given that the Department of Homeland Security says domestic terrorism is the greatest terror threat to this country at this moment?
Yeah, so I applaud the president for using that word because it is applicable to this case. And an organization I belong to, We Are Many United Against Hate, issued a call to action yesterday. And one of the things that we've asked is for both Republicans and Democrats to come out and condemn these types of attacks and categorize them as acts of terrorism. I mean, the media has us accustomed to equating terrorism from only the Middle East, but we do have homegrown terrorism here in the United States carried out by white people. So it's important to use that term because acknowledging the threat is the very first step in trying to combat it.
Rashawn, you expressed some frustration about the lack of action taken so far, or what this president has been able to accomplish when it comes to issues of racial injustice and dealing with hatred that exists in the population and society at large. President Biden ran as a great unifier. He called the race a battle for the soul of this nation. Where are we in the battle?
Well, look, I think we are in the thick of the battle. What we just heard is important for people. Some statistics need to be laid out. 3 out of 4 of the domestic terrorist acts that happen in the United States come from right-wing extremists, primarily white nationalists. 60% of hate crimes have to do with race. We are in this battle for the soul of the nation. And as my grandfather would always say, who served 21 years in the Army, Purple Heart, Bronze Star as a drill sergeant, our silence is our acceptance. Biden noted that. But what people, again, want to get past are narratives. Part of what needs to happen is what is happening in the state of Maryland, which is the Lieutenant Richard W. Collins III law, which actually expands the scope by which prosecutors can pursue individuals for hate crimes. It says that race and other protected clauses simply have to be one of the reasons why people engage in behavior. The other thing that academics have noted is that maybe we need to start thinking about these hate groups as gangs. That will give law enforcement more of the ability to pursue them in different ways and investigate them in different ways. But it's very clear that we are in a moment in time where people are getting attacked in school for speaking the truth, that people are getting attacked for going to get eggs and bread from the grocery store, and more needs to be done from the White House to our dinner tables to prevent these sort of things from happening. And this is why in Dallas, just recently, a 9-year-old little boy who was white went to his neighbor's home and pulled out a whip and whipped the door with it. It was something out of 1922 or 1822, or maybe even 1955 when Emmett Till was killed. And then the father shot at the black father of the little girl. We have to realize that people who go into the grocery store in Buffalo come from parents like that who start off as little kids like what we saw in Dallas.
And so how does that become normalized or seen as acceptable in society? We have seen some Republicans, Gloria, like Liz Cheney, call out members of her own party saying they have a role in all of this.